Hey, what's up you guys, Seal21 here. Welcome back to another new video. Today is a very special event. I was able to get an interview with the new owners of Vidlii, Lawwat and Cuz about what their intentions are for the site, their long-term goals, a little bit about them, just pretty much everything that I wanted to know about them just as much as I am sure you guys wanted to know about them as well. But before we get into that, I just want to thank you guys for all of the support on my last video as well as my last few videos in general. It's just been so much fun seeing everything that you guys have had to say in the comment section about both Vidbit and Vidlii, all of your thoughts about all of the events that are going on with both of these sites, and your reactions to the news that is coming out about both of these sites. I've said it on Discord a few times, but I'm gonna say it again here now. I feel like there has been more Vidlii news coming out in the last month than there has in the last couple years, and that has just been super fun and super interesting to me. Is the reason that I'm back making these videos. It's just because they are really fun to do, and I hope you guys are having just as much fun with this as I am. So with all of that being said, let's get straight into the interview. I'm going to be reading this in sort of like a he said she said type of style. I would normally read these one by one, but because I was interviewing two people this time, I feel like it'll be better for those that are just listening to this video in the background to have a bit more context in the narration here. I started off by saying, hey y'all, thank you so much for taking a second out of your day and doing this. This is much appreciated. To start, what was both of your backgrounds in site ownership and development, and what got you into this whole thing? Lawwat responded with this: I have a few small sites and also some programming experience, though in this instance it's Cuz and the Kalima network who are bringing the bulk of the necessary technical skills. As for the reason I purchased Vidlii, it was due to partly my enthusiasm for old YouTube and partly because I didn't want Vidlii to become a read-only archive. I didn't want to move to Vidbit because I really enjoy the freedom and lax rules of Vidlii. And Cuz responded with this: I've been providing hosting to several hundred sites for a little over 17 years, and as a friend of Lawwat and someone who is somewhat interested in stuff like Vidlii, I was willing to host it on our servers. Since we already have an established server network, we can host Vidlii for little to no cost, which is why ads have been removed. Next I asked this: for Cuz, did you really use Vidlii much before the purchase, or was it more of something you were watching from the sidelines? As for Lawwat, how long have you been using alts to YouTube? Did it start at Vidlii, or did it start even further back? Lawwat responded with this: my first YouTube alternative was Zipcast, which I discovered in 2014 or 2015, and which I used regularly before it shut down in 2017, I think. I started on Vidlii in January of 2018, and have been using it regularly ever since. And Cuz responded with this: I made a Vidlii account a few years ago, but never uploaded anything. Next I asked Cuz on the story behind Deviach, and the reason behind why you wanted to make a 9chan style form board, if I'm correct on the style. And he responded with this: Deviach, which means 9ch channel in Russian, was the first ever site I started all the way back in 2005. The site was shut down in 2017 for legal reasons and has been in a state of disrepair ever since, with most boards missing or just filled with spam. It's never been something anyone could understand from an outsider's perspective. And I said, I see, so it's very much like a tight-knit, inside group kind of thing. I imagine starting it in 2005, it probably had a pretty close community that kind of split up after the shutdown. And Cuz responded with yes, with most of the remaining community scattered on IRC servers and other Russian forums like 2ch.hk. Next I asked Lawwat, what inspired you to start using these alts? Was it the mostly aforementioned fascination with old YouTube, or was it also kinda something you started using to mess around with the sites themselves? And Lawwat responded with this: it was driven purely by nostalgia for old YouTube. I used YouTube heavily from 2007 to 2009, and it was one of the most fun things I've ever experienced on the internet. When the site started changing for the worse going into the 2010s, I searched for something that offered an authentic 2000s YouTube experience, eventually stumbling upon Zipcast and later Vidlii. And as a side note, I responded back to him saying that in a roundabout way, this is also how I kind of started on these sites, because I actually wasn't old enough to experience the real classic period of YouTube. So for me, whatever could recapture that look and feel as best it could was always an interesting thing for me, and it still is today. Next, I asked both of them what are some of the smaller sites of note that they have worked on / hosted, and have they done a project together before this one? Cuz responded with this: Lawwhat's been a long-term customer of mine, so I like to think our relationship is good. We don't ever butt heads or cause anything that could be detrimental to the sites. But Vidlii is one of the larger sites that I've hosted. And Lawwhat responded with this: I have a personal site which you could probably find with a little bit of searching, and another website for a Team Fortress 2 server which I also run. Both of those are hosted on the Kalima network. I don't know if you'd even be interested in seeing them though. And as my final question, I asked what are their long-term goals with Vidlii, and how to keep the site thriving. Cuz responded, I think generally we wanted to continue running it as it was with only some minor technical changes for the better, but I'd also personally like to see the site expand to a broader audience, without falling into any of the stereotypes alt video sites usually do. Nazis, drama fest, etc. Lawwhat said, I want to be a more active owner than Yan was, and engage with the community more, rather than neglecting the site. I definitely want to keep Vidlii a passion thing rather than simply turning it into a revenue stream for myself, so I have no problem removing ads and funding it out of pocket. One thing which we discussed was the introduction of a self-serve community ad system, in which users can submit ads for their channel to be shown on Vidlii for free, or for a very small fee, to deter abuse, in order to cultivate a greater sense of community on the site. And Cuz said by ads we mean little banners on the bottom of some pages, not the absurdly intrusive and annoying ads Vidlii previously had. And Lawwhat said yes, I should have clarified this, just simple banner ads. Oh, and I'm also prepared to advertise Vidlii, and also BitView, if that turns out to be necessary. Vidlii at least has something of a name for itself because it's been around for 4.5 years, so I don't foresee having to do much to promote it. And with that, that is the interview with Vidlii's new owners, Lawwhat and Cuz. I thanked them for their time and their insight into what their plans are for the site because, again, without them and without them being open to do this interview, this video right here would not be happening and we would know none of this. So huge shout out to the both of them. Both of their Vidlii channels are going to be in the description down below, and I also want to point out that the both of them are in the Vidbit server. They are both active. You can tag them at any time and they will probably respond to you. So be on the lookout on the Vidbit Discord because there is a good chance that if you need to talk to them about anything or ask them about anything, you can probably find them both on there. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. If you did, please let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. I want to hear your thoughts on this one and I want to hear what you think of Vidlii's new owners. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to give this video a like or rate it 5 stars if you're on Vidlii, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you see more videos like this one when they come out. This is CL21 signing out.